What up, my Triumph tea sipping dudes? Ho, Spitzy boy whipped up a little Triumph bike on MX Sim right here, okay? If you're asking how I got this bike, literally made it myself in Microsoft Paint in about 6.9 seconds. Not very hard to do, okay? Very, very simple bike design with the Triumph, all right? So, what this video is all about right here, okay, is, I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen it, the Ricky Carmichael video. He's ripping around on the new Triumph 250F, okay? We finally have the actual official, like, you know, video, some kind of actual seeing the real-life Triumph motocross bike for the first time, okay? They started off with doing these, like, little shorter videos on different parts of the bike. You boys know they started off with, like, a chassis video. Everybody was expecting the bike video then, and it didn't happen. Then like a couple weeks later, they came out with the engine video, you know, but it still wasn't the bike video. But now we finally got the actual bike video with Ricky Carmichael and Evan Ferry, okay? They're ripping it up on some, looked like a Florida track. I don't know exactly, but we're on the James Stewie compound here on MX Sim. So, yeah, just wanted to kick back a little bit, talk about a new motocross bike. Definitely let me know down in the comments what you guys think about it, if you're going to be picking one up. I do believe they are going to be making a, like, motocross bike, but also, like, enduro, you know, style bikes and stuff like that. Triumph, obviously Ricky's been involved with that for a minute now, with the actual, like, you know, street style side of bikes and stuff, but this is their first time getting into actual motocross bikes. Of course, Evan Ferry, you know, and Ricky rant and raved about it, like, you know, talking about, you know, it's really good. You can whip the bike really easily. The bike whips really good. It does that really good, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, they're going to say good things about it, okay? Well, let's not live in a total fantasy land here, boys, all right? That's how it works when these different riders have sponsors and they're on a certain bike. Now, one thing I will say with Ricky specifically, you know, you can probably believe some of the things he's saying about it, because he is like, Ricky could have went anywhere. You know, Ricky is directly involved in the development of the bike. But like Evan Ferry, for instance, I mean, he's probably just lucky to get the call to even show up and ride on this new Triumph bike. You know what I mean? So, but, you know, Ricky says the bike's real nimble. You can, you know, if you see a line, you can hit it. You can turn the bike into whatever line you want to hit. They've talked about how Suzuki's are the most nimble things ever, forever, have the best handling ever, you know, whatever, right? But, yeah, it is interesting to see Ricky go down this road sort of after he parted ways with Suzuki. I wasn't really sure what, you know, he kind of like got on a Kawasaki for a minute. Now he's on the Triumph, okay? They seem to be going with this black fender design, like black plastic design, which is kind of interesting. You know, I wasn't necessarily expecting that per se. I think some of the Triumph bikes almost have like a green coloration to it, and I don't know what their final, you know, color, quote unquote, is going to be. Obviously, the motocross market is completely full of every other color out there, right? You got Yamaha blue, Suzuki yellow, Huskies are white, Honda's red, Gas also red. I mean, we got some of them out there that are like duplicate color. So not really a whole lot of different coloration. I kind of thought they might would have went with like a darker green color vibe with the Triumph bikes, but they seem to have went with this black vibe to them, which is kind of cool. So yeah, man, I don't know. I mean, they were obviously tossing the bike completely sideways in the air, but it is Ricky Carmichael, and I mean, Evan Ferry's no slouch either, you know what I'm saying? So they're talking about, you know, it's real good for being a stock bike, and Evan Ferry talking about, you know, they've done some crazy stuff with the frame, and, you know, he's never rode on a bike like that before. I mean, you know, Obviously, like, Triumph has way less money involved in it than probably any other big-time manufacturer out there. The more money, the better they're going to be able to make the bike. But Triumph's just trying to kind of get involved a little bit, you know what I'm saying? They're trying to get somewhere with this thing, so I don't necessarily expect this bike to be just like the greatest thing ever right out of the gate. It's probably going to take a few years of, you know, that's just like the logical thing you would think of. Probably going to take a few years, probably not going to have all the most up-to-date features, but it may not have the same price point either. I'm not really sure. They haven't really announced when they're actually going to fully come out with the bike or like what all that is. So I don't really know too much about that, but kind of the cliff notes here, it seems to be really nimble. Seem to be some different thing they're doing with like the frame that's not, I guess, similar to a lot of other things. That just seems to be what Evan Ferry and Ricky Carmichael were kind of talking about in that video. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt, take it however you want to take it, but man, we got so many bikes now, and this, I don't even know what the hell. I think they're supposed to be trying to, like, do some pro racing stuff in 2024 on it, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know exactly when all that's going to start. I don't know when you're going to be able to buy one, but I think 2024 is kind of their first real year, like, getting into everything. I think that's what they're planning on. I think that's what we heard, like, a little while back there. I don't know what kind of pro dudes are going to have on the team. Of course, if you got a guy like Ricky Carmichael, I mean, you know, you're going to sell some bikes. Like, it don't really matter what you're doing with the bike, you're going to sell some bikes. But this was kind of Carmichael's opportunity to get directly involved with production of a motocross bike, like from the ground up type situation, like a smaller company, you know, not having to go through like a Suzuki or a Honda or something like that, right? So I don't know, it may be a kind of a Ricky Carmichael built kind of bike situation going on here, and who knows, it may be a lot better than what we're thinking or something like that. I don't know, but so far, the only real dudes that's actually, like, messed with it seems to be Evan Ferry and Ricky Carmichael. So there's not really, like, a whole lot of information out there about what it's really gonna be like. But, yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, you know, we all get super attached to our Yamahas and our Kawasaki's and all this other shit, right? But you know, I think it is important to support the smaller, like, motocross companies and things that are just trying to get off the ground. You know, they're just trying to get their feet wet. So we'll see. I mean, we've seen some of these electric motocross companies kind of come and go. We've seen, you know, you've obviously got Gas, some of these other different companies are kind of coming back that were something before, but Triumph is, you know, starting up a whole new thing here, so I don't know, man. It's cool to see. I don't know if they're going to be more involved in Enduro, like hare scramble trail racing, or if it's going to be more like motocross oriented. I'm not exactly sure, but they do say on their website that it's going to be like Enduro and motocross like development. So, yeah, but I mean, they got Ricky Carmichael on board. I don't know what all, I don't know. I guess Ricky's just looking at it as an opportunity to develop on a bike, try to make a cool, like, stock bike. And yeah, so far, looks pretty cool. I mean, it looks like they were ripping and raring and tearing that shit up, you know what I'm saying? But you know, it's not like they're going to go out there. You're probably not going to see honest reviews on it until you have, like, the general public buying the bike and stuff like that, you know what I mean? You know, that should just kind of go without saying, but some people need to be told that. You know, that's how any of this stuff works. Any of these dudes that are sponsored by or directly involved, any of these team managers, any of these, you know, people that are involved in the company, they're not going to be negative about it. You know what I'm saying? They're just not. The only real true like reviews and things like that you're gonna get about these different bikes or companies or whatever is your random old Joes out there like me on YouTube that are gonna, you know, be honest about things. Those are the kind of people you need to be watching if you want to get, you know, real truthful opinions on certain things like that. You know, you got to be real careful by listening to somebody that's sponsored, you know, sponsored. That's kind of what it means, you know. But with this particular situation, it is true that Ricky Carmichael has been directly involved in the development of it, and he obviously knows a thing or two. So that right there kind of, you know, it's got to be at least some level of decent. If Ricky Carmichael's been directly involved in the development of it. It's a lot different if you just had Ricky like racing on a Suzuki or whatever back in the day. That's not exactly the same kind of situation as this right here. So you'd have to imagine it's got to be at least somewhat decent right out the gate. You know, you'd have to think so. So they showed some helmet cam video footage of it, kind of whipping the bike over. Yeah, I mean, it looks like a decent stock bike, but that's all I can really see from this point so far. Like I say, you won't really know things till you get a little deeper. You start getting some of these different, you know, YouTube, motocross news outlets and shootouts and different things like that starting to cover it. Then you'll start to get a better idea of what's actually going on with this new Triumph. But I haven't seen any, like, 450 or two-stroke 125. All they showed was the 250 four-stroke. So I don't know if that's like all they're really going to be developing at first and then they're going to expand. I'm not exactly sure on that, but yeah, either way, it's cool to see a new bike, new thing going on here, giving Ricky Carmichael something else to do, you know what I'm saying? It's all cool, bro. So yeah, dogs, either way, Spency boy out here just, you know, just farting around. This is actually a Suzuki bike on MX Simulator, but it had an older Suzuki bike, but it had a really similar fender to the Triumph. I actually added another Triumph logo down at the bottom of the front fender here, but technically in that Ricky Carmichael video, it didn't have any like logos or stickers on it really anywhere. It was just like a totally blacked out front fender kind of bike. So we still don't know exactly how the actual, you know, 2024 Triumph bike is going to look or whatever. We still just don't really know. So, yeah, man, either way, that's about it for this video. Just had to at least come in here and make one on it, talking about it. This helmet right here is actually my, it's going to be my 2024 team helmet on MX Simulator. Got a nice little star pattern, little Monster Energy helmet on there. So, either way, dude. We're just having fun making videos, man. Just having fun doing it again. That's all there is to it, bro. Appreciate all y'all boys sticking around. We're going to keep these uploads going. We got Super Motocross coming up. Probably going to have some content on that. So, yeah, man. I'll see you boys in that next one. Later, dudes. Keep on sipping that tea, Galaxy boys.